Coalition talks have dragged on in Germany, with the president warning that the impact of which could affect Europe as a whole. Chancellor Angela Merkel and her Conservatives have spent the week embarking on a last-ditch resort to form a grand coalition by wooing the Social Democrats. But there has been disagreement over tax cuts and immigration policy. Merkel needs a deal to secure her fourth term, and all eyes are on the outcome as Germany is the EU's largest economy and one of its most influential members.
The press wait for a breakthrough outside SPD headquarters, where negotiations dragged on through the night. Politicians meanwhile play cards to while away the time. After 18 agonizing hours of talks, Angela Merkel has still not reached a new coalition deal. The German Chancellor on Thursday said she expected a long, tough day.
We have done a lot of work in preparation, but there are still big obstacles to clear.
For the past 3 months, Merkel has been scrambling to find partners to govern with, after inconclusive elections robbed her of her majority. After an attempt to forge a deal with two smaller parties failed, she turned to former partners, the SPD. They initially refused to form a government before agreeing to these talks. Now her only hope for a coalition. The far right made record gains in September's election, seizing on anger over the influx of refugees, ushered into the country by Merkel herself. She and her Conservative alliance are now toughening their stance on immigration to try to win back voters, a major sticking point with the centre-left SPD. The Conservatives are also pushing for tax cuts, while the SPD want welfare gains. Their leader, Martin Schulz, struck a fairly optimistic tone, emphasising his party's #1 priority.
There are quite a number of issues we have identified together as common interests, but there are still big hurdles to clear. If we take part in such a government, it would be on the condition that this government makes Europe strong.
But even if a deal is struck, it could still be derailed by an SPD party vote. Those behind a resistance campaign believe governing alongside the Conservatives again would be a death sentence after historic losses at the polls. Should a coalition deal fail, the possibility of a minority government under Merkel or new elections would be on the cards.